Good afternoon, comrade. Can we please meet you?
Good afternoon, Airma. My name is Ajo Ajibade. I am the acting president of Igbesa Youth Assembly.
All right, sir. On 19th of October 2021, an election was held on the same location where we are, where two aspirants are vying for the position of the president, and we also have two aspirants vying for the position of the vice president. First of all, you were not present at the election. Can you please tell us why?
Thank you very much, Airma. You see, what happened yesterday to me was not an election. What happened yesterday was a physical result of two major problems that have been with Igbesa Youth Assembly for so long. One is the issue of membership, and the other one is purpose. Membership, under which the issue of age limit falls, qualifications to be members. I am from Igbesa, therefore Igbesa belongs to all of us. I must be part of Igbesa Youth Assembly. Qualifications as to who holds a certain position in the organization and stuff like that. That has to do with membership. Then two, purpose. Why the establishment in the first place? Why are you a member of Igbesa Youth Assembly? What is the purpose of Igbesa Youth Assembly? Those two areas are the major problems Igbesa Youth Assembly is being faced, that as a result, we're having what we had yesterday. It was in the morning that somebody called me that, did I receive any message from Governor General? I said no. He said I should go and check our WhatsApp loop. So I went there. I saw a message which was sent by Alhaji Airma notifying people of an election when we have a critical committee. So I thought it was just a joke, and I issued a statement in that, with respect to that, as quickly as possible, so that people will not fall victims. So later in the day, I discovered they came, they went there, they selected president, they selected vice president, and all that. It shouldn't be so. I am afraid if what happened yesterday is left to be, I am afraid the future of Igbesa Youth Assembly. Why am I afraid? You can see Comr Jide, I know, was here yesterday. Comr was also here. It was only His Royal Majesty Oba Teslim, Oba Engineer Teslim Nasiru that was not here. He was not here, not because he is now an Oba. He was not here because he knew what was going to happen. When Comr Jide, the same process that happened yesterday, that took place yesterday, was the same process that brought Comr Jide in as the president of Igbesa Youth Assembly. So we all felt, okay, you are there. Please correct or see to those two things, the membership and the purpose of the establishment. He failed to do that. He worked, he tried, but it was outside the association. So he didn't touch membership, he didn't touch the issue of membership, he didn't touch the issue of purpose. The same thing. The same process brought in Comr Jide, Comr Biodun Ogun. So Comr Jide, as at that time, felt robbed. But the same process was used to bring in Comr Biodun Ogun. So he came. He also failed to touch those two areas. He left. Now it is my turn as the caretaker. The reason why most people will not like me is that I cannot do the same as Comr Jide and Comr Biodun Ogun. So what we started with was, we constituted a constitutional review committee, see to the issue of membership, see to the zoning arrangement. There shouldn't be anything like zoning. There shouldn't be anything like zoning. The best candidate in a quarters now can be the worst candidate from another quarters. Why should it be zoning? So a constitutional review that will see to zoning arrangement, that will see to membership, what are the qualifications for you to become a member of Igbesa Youth Assembly, or is it because we are all youths, then we are automatic members? And that is why you see, when you go back home, just try to, if you see the picture that was sent online yesterday, I saw Osama, who never attended the Igbesa Youth Assembly. I saw Solomon, who I don't think he has for once attended the Igbesa Youth Assembly meeting. I saw stuff like that. Because there is no regulation as to membership. The age limit is just a subset of it. You see people of 55, 50, 60, they call themselves youth. How do you now feel if you are the chairman? If somebody who is of your dad's age is raising up his hand just because he wants to contribute, and he stands up to talk, and you are there seated, it is irritating. Now, we consider a committee to make sure those things are put together to correct the lacuna, the lapses. So we gave them ultimatum, and they failed. They didn't come out with a report. So we had another meeting where their report was supposed to be submitted. They didn't come with the reason. What was the reason? They said that we should give them at least 1 week more. So at the point of giving them 1 week, Honorable Muyiwa Adedoyin suggested that there's no need for us to wait for the constitution to be reviewed. Let us conduct that. Therefore, we're given Duaro as a critical committee, then as electoral committee. We were given terms of reference, bring us modalities. So we sat down, we deliberated on modalities, we took to them, ordinarily, so we took it to them, BOT stakeholders, precedence, BOT stakeholders, then plus 3 zonal ESCOs. They said, no, they can't take it. It can't be 3. So I was like trying to let them realize that we should be autonomous. You shouldn't interfere. So Mr. Assis Busari suggested 2. So they all left with 2. The other party, because as it is, the association is being divided into 2 groups. One for Akintoba Aka and the other one for Monsura Ajayi. Now, the other group said, it can't be 3, it has to be 2. So they changed it to 2. When they left, the other side, which is the group B, felt for group A to have succeeded in changing it from 3 to 2. Therefore, they are also of the opinion that there must be 7. And that was where the whole issue started. To now cut the long story short, as elders say, that there's an end to learning. I quickly contacted His Royal Majesty Oba Abdulaziz Akinde. So I went to him, I explained the whole thing to him. He asked me. The question was so logical. He asked me, he said, was there anything like times of reference when you were appointed as caretaker committee? I said yes. He said, what was the terms of reference? I said to review the existing constitution so as to take care of certain areas that will have deficiencies. He said, have you been able to do that? I said, no. What is the reason? And I began to say, he said, no. Write to the committee, ask for the reason why they have not submitted their report. I did same. They replied. They said they have not been able to submit their report because of time. So they requested additional 3 weeks. We gave them 3 weeks to round up their work. And by the existing constitution, the constitution says election into national ESCOs, the central ESCOs should be at the annual general meeting. That same constitution also states clearly the annual general meeting of Igbesa Youth Assembly should take place in the month of January every year. I don't want to fall victim. I don't want to be like Comr Jide and Comr Biodu, who failed to follow the due process. I said this is the time for us to correct all these things. So I issued a statement in due course that we'll be having election in January, and that the Constitutional Review Committee has been given 3 weeks extension. And the whole situation was becoming calm and cool. Not until yesterday when I got the news that a Governor General said he has the power. He does not have the power. You cannot, by my little experience, replace a caretaker committee by a caretaker committee, which means the caretaker committee is being charged plus whatever obligation that is given to the committee, the responsibility to conduct an election. So I was on my bed and I received the news. And truly, if it was an election, the other contestants, okay, we issued forms, they bought forms, they submitted forms to us as the electoral committee. I was not aware. And they came here, they did selection, they left. This is where I begin to become so afraid. The same process was allowed during Comr Ejide. The reason why he was here yesterday. The same process was allowed during Comr Jalagun. The same reason he was here yesterday. I won't take that. I will not take that. I won't. If what they did yesterday is what is going to happen, I am not against any candidate. My own issue is the due course, the due process. So if that is left to be, therefore, to get the change we have been clamoring for will be close to impossible. And that's the same reason I was not here yesterday, because the election is to hold in the month of January.
Thank you, sir. So from all you've said, that means the Constitution itself stated that elections should be held in January.
Sure.
Now, you made mention that it was held, something different was held during Comrade Ejide election, the election we brought him in. Was there a reason why it was held like that then? To see if the same reason applies to what happened yesterday.
Okay, thank you. Now, it was so because the man at the helm of the affairs, as at that time, felt it should be so. He knew it quite all right, that it was unconstitutional. So he left it that way. He didn't do anything about it. The same thing happened with Comrade Jalagun. So he met the same problem, he left it untouched and felt the normal way it should happen was to do it that way. But now I know myself, there are a lot of things I cannot say outside. Just like Mr. Abusari would tell me, forget about constitution. And I used to tell him, how do I now say that to people outside? With the little education that I have had, how now say there's an association that's been chaired by me and that has no constitution? Meanwhile, the constitution is being signed by the CAC. We have a constitution, but there are lacunas. There are some areas to take care of. That is what we are having. So now that I know, if what they did yesterday is to be upheld, no problem. But I won't be part of that. I will not be part of that process. The time to correct those things is now, and that is what we are saying.
So earlier in your statement, you said the Governor General, in the person of Ajo Ajibade, does not have the capacity to have conducted that election yesterday. Can you, under 15 to 20 seconds, brief us the rules of the Governor General?
Thank you very much. You see, that is why some people, that is one area that is getting a lot of people confused. Governor General is also a member of BOT. He's just the chairman of the Board of Trustee members. He has an advisory role. Purely an advisory role. And therefore, some people have begun to say, because they have that advisory, then it should be the general overseer of the whole thing, that he can do and undo. And that is unconstitutional. It does not have the power to conduct any election. In his text message, he said to fill a vacuum. Where is the vacuum? Why did you set up a caretaker committee in the first place? Why not going through the same process of appointing the same way you did yesterday? Why not? Why should they have gone ahead to appoint me as the caretaker committee chairman?
Now there has been claims that you want an extension of your tenure as the acting president. Can you brief us on that?
Thank you very much for that question. At a point, I discovered that extension was necessary. It was not necessary because of my own personal benefits. It was necessary as a result of what we have started, we have not finished it. And what is it? The constitution review. The constitution that will state clearly who and who should be electors, who and who should occupy a particular post or the other, who and who should be a member. Some people cannot, in fact, some people should not sit down with some people. There are some people that must not sit down with some people.
Sorry, we didn't really get that point.
Okay.
That some people shouldn't sit with some people.
Some people should. Okay, let me just give you an example. And it has to do with membership. God forbid, maybe I have involved in a criminal stuff or in the past. You are aware. But because my father is from this place, my mother is from this place, and automatically I'm a member of Igbesa Youth Assembly. Ordinarily, you wouldn't have wanted to sit down with me. And that's what I'm saying. There are some people that there is no way you explain to them, they can't understand. Must they be members as well? Must they be? Are they exposed? Do they know the reason why they must be? They must be there. That is what I mean by some people must not sit down with some people. But the reverse is the case now. A lot of people are just saying whatever they feel, whatever they feel like.
So are you trying to say Igbesa Youth Assembly is selective of its members?
It's not. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. It should be. That should be the condition. There must be certain rules. There must be certain conditions that you must meet to become members. You get confused. You get distracted.
First, you said there was a need for an extension
Yes.
to be able to complete
The constitution.
Mm-hmm. Now, if the constitution had been completed
Okay.
before now,
Okay.
would the election have been held, or it will still be held in January?
If the Constitutional Review Committee had done their job, it shows we would have held election, because the reviewed constitution will now be the constitution we will now reference to. And I'm very sure it would have stated clearly the time, the terms as regards election.
All right. So, what you're saying in essence now is the fact that the constitution has not been reviewed, so it will still be followed. The constitution which is on ground
Exactly.
will be followed.
Exactly.
Now, who are the eligible voters for Igbesa Youth Assembly?
Thank you very much. You see, that is even another area where they think I can be compromised. You see, time before now, it has always been BOT stakeholders, and most of at times, SONA ESCOs. But what the constitution says is financial members. And who are the financial members? How do you now determine the financial member? It's another major area this review is taking into cognizance. Financial members. How do we determine our financial members? We determine our financial members through branches, zones. We determine financial members through branches. How do I mean? We have OC, Igbe, Ogono, Idomo. If there is any need for us to say we need 1 million naira, that 1 million naira is going to be divided into 4. 250 from Idomo, 250 from Ogono, 250 from Igbe, while 250 will come from OC zone. So the chairman of the zone will now know who and who he has contacted to get those money. So those people, so far they are youths, are financial members. They are eligible. It will cause confusion if it is not reviewed. As the constitution stands now, every zonal chairman or each zonal chairman is the only person that can identify who the financial members are. BOT stakeholders are also inclusive. They contribute to. What about other people? You know, that is what the constitution states.
So the constitution as it stands now, only the stakeholders and BOTs are eligible to vote for.
The constitution does not even recognize stakeholders. We are all stakeholders. We are all stakeholders. We have interest in the assembly. The BOT, the zonal ESCOs, the central ESCOs, whatever view, we are all stakeholders. So the constitution does not recognize stakeholders. It recognizes only the BOT. And why the BOT is at the point of registration. The CAC demanded that there must be a board of trustee members. Many of these board of trustees are not even in the constitution. We only have about 3 or 4 of them in the constitution. They are not recognized by law. And the constitution does not at anywhere say BOT stakeholders should determine the fate of an election or should determine who is going to be the president or vice president or any position. They don't have that power. It is unconstitutional too. You can't tell me to just believe, to now begin to say what is unconstitutional. It is not possible.
Now the zoning you talked about earlier, that it is not supposed to be zoned. Has there been any form of zoning before now?
Yes, it has always been zoning. So during the time of Comr BCN affair of blessed memory, he represented Ogono. So it was the turn of Alhaji Kufli Anima Shaun, who conducted a kangaroo election yesterday as against the existing constitution. Then Engineer Teslim also from Ogono. We have Comr Jide Aina from Igbe. We have Comr Jide Abiodun from Igbe as well. It is only Idomo zone who has, except at a time when they acted as acting president, there has never been anybody from Idomo to become Igbesa Youth Assembly president.
All right. So now, if you said zoning has always been held, okay, but you feel zoning should be stopped, doesn't it contradict what you've been saying about, okay, it has not reflected in the constitution yet.
Okay.
It is yet to be reflected in the constitution.
Yes.
And, so for now, we can say, since zoning is part of the constitution, it should still be followed.
The constitution does not even recognize. It's an internal arrangement. Okay. The existing constitution does not even recognize zoning. So the constitution there's nowhere in the constitution where you find a zoning arrangement.
All right, thank you, Comrade Ajo.
And there is because I'm sorry, there is a kind of rumor that is in the town, is bias, is this. Haven't you heard about something like that?
Yeah. Okay. Before saying that, the elections holding, do you have any interest?
Do you know my interest? The interest is whoever that wants to become the president of Igbesa Youth Assembly should be the fittest. That is my interest. Anybody that is coming must be fit for the purpose, must be fit for the job, should be the fittest. I am not interested in who becomes. It is the position I'm interested in.
And do you think any of the two candidates is fit for the position?
The two of them are fit. The two of them are fit. You understand the two of that? The reason why some people thought maybe I was biased is simple. Just like Chief Okoloma once said, you don't give what you don't have. When I wanted to become chairman caretaker committee, it was this my brother, Honorable Sheyi Dada, that came to me. He said, come and act as acting president. I said, no. He said, no, you have to. So he insisted, I agreed. Some people were not happy of the choice. So some people were not happy. They felt so bad. They didn't want me to. So the other side, Group A, which belongs to Monsuru Ajayi, were the ones that contacted me. But Sheyi Dada, Mr. Assis Buzari, they were still together in the same group as at that time. So to them, they produced me. The other group produced me. So the other group was against it. Now, because you should know it is expected. The two groups used to call me for one meeting or the other. And when I get there, especially the other group, they will tell me, this is what we want you to go and do. I will tell them, no, consider my own name as well. You need to think of my own personality too. So they have no choice because they produced me. They have to agree. It's not as if Chief Omala is totally happy about the age limit we are working on. It's not as if Honorable Ajo is also very happy that he's going to leave anytime soon. It's not as if Chief Oga is happy with the decision of Kabir, but because of the fact that Kojumati Wala Momo is, we need to agree with him. So the other group, which in the first place was against the choice of me becoming the acting president, who now think I am biased. It is not so.
So in essence, you are still the acting president in Igbesa Youth Assembly,
Sure.
as accepted by the House.
Yes.
So yesterday's election, are you trying to say it is not recognized by your office?
My office, the major responsibility of my office now is to conduct an election. And we have stated that clearly, that election will only hold according to the existing constitution in the month of January. Time and date to be determined and communicated to the public later. So what was heard yesterday was not an election. Even most of the contestants were calling me yesterday that their names were being mentioned, that as one office holder or the other, of which they were not aware. The other person was not aware too. So the election will come up in the month of January 2022 by the special grace of God. And I want to appeal to our leaders, to the concerned, that this issue should not be left alone for us to decide. The issue of youth, the strength of every community is the youth of that community. If we are left alone and what happened yesterday sees the light of the day, it shows we are not ready for that change. And I am afraid if it is not going to give birth to a kind of where we are supposed to belong. I'm afraid if what happened yesterday, if it is left to be, I'm afraid if it is not good, because I cannot be part of that system. The system that is not productive. I can't be. When I was given, somebody was saying extension, money. The person is not being fair to me. The only time I was given money after I became Igbesa Youth Assembly was when they called me at Ejipet and said they gave us 100,000 naira to celebrate. Was it Christmas or New Year at that time? I gave the BOT stakeholders 50,000 naira. We are 5 in the committee, so I shared 10,000 to every member of the committee. My 10,000, you can go to and confirm. I gave it to them to purchase plastic chairs to be having meeting. So there's no reason, there's no personal gain in me still staying here. In fact, It is disturbing. As small as I am bestowed with a lot of responsibilities from many fronts. So I cannot say it's disturbing me because it's a community service. But there's no way I would want to remain if everything had been corrected.
If the election that will be held in January,
Okay.
which you say is to be the recognized election, what would be your expectation from whoever emerges?
Thank you for that question. You know, in my earlier, I said, my earlier answers to some of your questions, I said, we have another problem which I regard as a purpose. The reason why you have to be there. You can see when we came in as caretaker committee, we visited the health center, we met with the matron there. We asked her, what can we do for you? She said their problem was light as at that time. And we can try and get them a power generator. So immediately we discussed, we arranged and gave them a power generator. And again, we visited the office of the civil service defense. We met with their boss. He said their windows were bad. So we go, okay, find someone who can fix those things. We gave them money. Even just about 4 or 5 days ago, there's one policeman. His name is Mr. Kende. I used to see him. I used to meet him anytime I go for printing. Anytime I want to print any document, we meet. So I now asked him, why is it that you come and print your documents here? He said, because they do not have a printer. I said, is that the problem? He said, when he left, I spoke with somebody who is a supplier. He said they will supply yours in good printer for 45,000. I will send 45,000 because documents of the police force have to be confidential. So these are things we are expecting from whoever becomes the president, but it must be through due process. It must be true, and because I saw it online yesterday when Comr Aka Toba was saying he would act in accordance with the Constitution. He said something like that. So, and I'm sure he must have read the election of the Igbesa Youth Assembly is to be held in the month of January. Everybody that was present yesterday has one ulterior motive or the other. Look at Honorable Muiwa, for example. He's the champion. He was the 2019 Youth Day Planning Committee chairman. So rough calculation has it that we're having close to 2 million naira with him. He has not remitted that. We consider another committee, which is Audit Planning Committee. I mean, a 2019 Youth Day Planning Committee. We term that committee Audit Committee. They sent letter to Honorable Muiwa did not honor their letter. They called him on phone, he didn't show up. So how would you now want such a person to wait till that constitution is out? Who knows what is going to happen tomorrow? Maybe he's going to be forced to produce that 1.something million naira.
So your advice to on how there can be a unified body. You know, a lot of people online are saying a couple of things. They already know that Igbesa Youth Assembly is kind of divided into groups. Your advice on how there can be a unified body?
Thank you very much, which is the most important thing. You see, I don't belong to A and I do not belong to B. And my joy will be when we come together and realize why we have to work as a team. How we have to work as when we have to have a system that is working, a system that is effective. When we are able to come together and say no to all those things that are wrong, and say no to Baba Sokwe and all that, I believe in one voice so that we will have a peaceful election come January and the next president will be sworn in.
On the last note, sir, you mentioned Baba Sokwe. Yesterday at the election grounds as well, we were hearing things like Baba Sokwe.
Okay.
Can you please shed more light on that?
Thank you. Baba Sokwe is this. You see, the other group, this is what you can confirm. They called me. We wanted you to do this way so that their own candidate can win. I said, no problem. The other group called me. This is how we want you to do it so that our own candidate can emerge. I said, no problem. But I didn't do all that. Do you understand? I didn't do. This is Igbesa Youth. Or if they are able to change the name, then I'll be okay with it. If they are able to change it from Igbesa Youth, the moment they mention youth, I should be part of that. So there should be no room for Baba Sokwe, go and kill that person, go and abuse this person, go and kill that person. No. That is Baba Sokwe. He's unheard of.
What is the age limit of being a member of the Igbesa Youth Assembly?
As we speak, there is no age limit. The review they are doing, they are taking care of that, I think. We have suggested to them, whoever there must be ESCO of Igbesa Youth Assembly must not be more than 45 years. If we are to have BOT, the BOT, anybody that is above 50 should be out of the thing. They should form another thing. And that is why we can have promotion. Ex-president becoming BOT members, if the age is still on his side. So if you are 45, leave. You can't be ESCO. BOT, being the advisory body, 50 years is still okay. So when you are above 50, we celebrate till you go. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be 55, 60, and all that.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ajo.
You're welcome.
We'll be able to reach out to you when next, because definitely we know after this interview, we definitely know there will be a lot of people who as well want to be on this show, so that they will want to air their own opinion. Okay. This is your own opinion you've heard.
Exactly.
So we are also hoping, we believe that a lot of people want to come and air their own opinion. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you, Airma, for this opportunity. Thank you very much. Anytime you are welcome. This is leadership, and this is training. That's the only benefit I'm getting from being the acting president. People think, okay, you said this thing is affecting a lot of things from me. Then why can't you leave now? It is leadership. I am having my training. Thank you very much, Emma.
Thank you, sir.